Hi, I'm Tim Trussell-Smith, pastor at First Christian Church Valparaiso, and this is our weekly message. We do one of these videos pretty much every week. Some weeks we take off. And for the past 10 months, since I got here and shortly after that we started making these videos, Mike DeGan, our tech coordinator, has been working on them with me. Sets up the shots, make sure we have an actual studio quality microphone. And sadly, Mike is moving on from his position. He's moving on to a next level of his education, and so he doesn't have the time to continue working with us. And I just wanted to bring that up first to celebrate Mike and celebrate the great work he has done at our church, helping us to move towards being a hybrid community of worship and fellowship where people can join us online and engage in things digitally, and that people who can't make it on Sundays can see what's going on in a pretty well live stream service. It's a journey we've been on, and we're going to keep improving in the weeks and months ahead. We actually have a lot of new stuff coming in, so we're really excited about making it better quality. But we are losing Mike, and that's a grief. And so I want to take a second to talk about the fact that grief is something that affects us not just when we lose a person who we love or care about. When you're in ministry like me, or if you're really involved in your church and you have a lot of people you care about, sometimes grief piles up. And we have this grief of friends and loved ones, and not even people that are in our family, but people who we sit next to in the pews, or people who we serve on committees with, or people who have helped shape us in our faith, often the case. And someone who's like a mentor, even another parent to us. And we lose these people, and it's desperately sad. But the grief also happens when other life changes happen. And a lot of times we don't acknowledge that. So there's actual grief. I've actually been processing grief myself with Mike moving on from his position, because he has become a friend and is a wonderful person to work with, and he gives so much to our team. I'm sad that this change is happening. And so I've been acknowledging that and looking into how I'm reacting to it. Have you changed a job? Have you had to move to a new home? Children moving out of the house, even kids moving up to another level of school, and realizing my kids are growing up, or something has changed in this friendship I have with someone. All of these can be sources of grief in our lives. And so I just want to encourage you that as people of faith, as Christians, sometimes we tend to want to focus on the joy and the happiness and the good things, and we make things positive. And that's actually a very healthy thing to do at times, as long as we aren't completely looking over and diminishing the grief that's in our lives. We need to acknowledge it, and we can also still claim that there is still joy and even good things that come out of the changes and even the sadnesses and the losses of life. God does, as the scriptures say, make good out of every ill. Not that God makes the ill. Sometimes we make that mistake, and there's a lot of people that teach something along those lines. God isn't making the bad things happen. God is with us in the bad, and God helps us to transform it into something new. It's in fact the very pattern of resurrection that we have in our life. So, as my friend Mike moves on from his position here at First Christian Church, I know that God is going to bring something good and wonderful out of that loss we're experiencing. And that's true of all the griefs in our lives. And so that we can look at the good and appreciate the good that comes from it, find the grace and joy in that, the signs of God's love and presence, while we also acknowledge and take care of ourselves as we grieve, and to actually acknowledge those griefs, the big ones and the small ones, is such an important thing to do in life, to be honest with ourselves, and yet also hopeful and full of joy, even in the tough times. So thank you, Mike, and all of you who are experiencing grief of any sort. I'm here if you're part of our community and want to talk, or just have connected with us online. That's what a pastor is for. Be happy to talk to you if you're experiencing grief of any sort. So take care, and God bless.